Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Shine Like a Diamond. So nice to have you with us, and I hope you're doing well. Today, I have a special guest, Jeanna. She's come to join us and share her light with us. And we've just connected on Facebook. This is our first time meeting together in this way. So it's really beautiful to have you on board, and welcome.
Thank you so much, my brother. Thank you, Jacob, for the invitation. It's just such a delight in this beautiful lines portal, the 888, which is so significant. And yeah, it's absolutely divinely aligned. So thank you for inviting me.
Maybe that's a good place to start. So can you share what that means, with this portal and the energies that you sense?
It's very much, Spirit has been talking to me about this for quite some time, drawing my attention to it for some months, actually, guiding towards this. And I know that's on a personal level for me, but also for the collective. And I think the significance, I feel, and I know the significance of the eights. There's 3 eights in this, and that is the as above, so below, within, without, universe, soul energy. But it's the third 8 being the awakening on earth. There's a deeper, wider opening. That's what I see, that awareness and that connection coming in more in alignment between many, many, many more souls here. So, it will have individual meaning for everybody. But as a collective, this is the time of people awakening and gaining so much more awareness, to what is real.
It makes it more accessible, doesn't it? So because that threefold, that coming in.
Triple, yeah. And it's 3 8s are 24, which is 6. So I look at it numerologically as well. And 6 is like, there is the eventual return to innocence within that. So part of this awakening is those that are wherever you are in your journey, it is that coming back and return to innocence. So this is a big portent for that as we walk through that gate together. Yeah.
And do you feel people need to be conscious of it, or it can still touch them without them having any consciousness of it?
I'm very much that the energy touches you in the way that it needs to touch you. You don't need to be conscious. It can be part of your awakening. That conscious activation just happens because especially through the actual 888 day of the portal, and either sides as well, the influx of frequencies coming in are so powerful, and it's literally just a wave to ride, and it will touch those in the way that it's meant to. They don't need to be conscious of it. They really don't. But if we are conscious of it, then we can use it for our higher manifestations and, dreams, heartstreams and wishes and all sorts of things. It's such a powerful vortex.
Yeah, it can really work with the energies, and really assist us on our path.
Absolutely. And the whole collective, the whole planet. So when we're looking at the highest and greatest good of all, and lifting and elevating everyone and one another, that's what we're, what we're all about, focusing on. Through the portal we go together into our heavenly earth.
Yeah, that's earth as well. Yeah, she's with us, we're with her, she's with us. We evolve together.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, so it's beautiful.
And so with that, you have a very strong connection with nature.
Nature is my first spirit guide, my first team. My spirit team, as in my galactic team, or angelics, or whoever you want to call them, or however I am presence, everything comes through for me through spirit. So through spirit, and then through the nature kingdom. So I am constantly, it's just like an open book, a constant conversation with me, with the environment around us. And I feel and I know that more people are going to awaken to this as part of our beingness. But she's guiding us, the earth is guiding us all the time through that, being a beautiful celestial being that she is as well. So that she's talking to nature as well, and nature is talking to us because we are nature. I always say our nature is pure nature, and just like nature's. So it's just us remembering that and connecting back into it. And it's always so beautiful to see so many more people connecting back in and walking in the forest. I spend a lot of time in the forests and places like that, and just seeing people and hearing people talk as they go through now, and just the conversations that people are having are so different. So they're really, even if it's not a conscious awareness, as we talked about before, they're moving through and being sparked and receiving so much in this. And it's a constant conversation.
Yes, yes, yes. That's it. As we become more present, I think we shared in this. I just did a podcast with another beautiful divine goddess, and we were talking about the present moment and the importance of that, and that is it. That's when you're there, present with your surroundings, you can really have that interaction with nature. That nature's always communicating with us.
Yes, it is. And it's the clearest and truest communication because it's so pure. There's no, and when we listen with our hearts, I always say with our heart eyes and our heart ears, then we hear it and see it and feel it, most importantly, very, very clearly, because there's no guise with nature. There's no hiding. They speak the truth in the moment.
Yeah, I really resonate with that. I find with certain things, people look at history and what have you, and they're like, oh, they read this and they read that. And I'm just like, just ask the earth, she'll give you the answer. If you know how to connect with her, there's no distortion, there's no agenda, there's nothing. It's, yeah, like you say, pure.
It's pure. And that is the essence of what we are remembering in ourselves. That as nature is pure, as the earth is pure, I feel a wave of emotion as I say that, but that is the essence that we're remembering in ourselves, that we are nature, that we are pure, that there is no separation in that there is no hierarchy, there is no above, I'm above you or better than, or that's all
Yeah,
of us working together. Unity.
yeah, beautiful. Yeah, I resonate with that. I find as well, like when you start talking about being conscious and higher frequencies and things, people go, oh, so you're in a higher frequency, so you're higher than me. It's like, no, 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 it's just an awareness, it's just where I am and where you are, and you could be higher than me, and I wouldn't think I'm below you, It's,
No.
yeah, it's all perfect. We're perfectly where we're meant to be. And
Yeah. And nature is the greatest activator of that. I mean, in our natures within ourselves, the way that we activate one another and share our frequencies and merge our frequencies with one another, it's exactly how nature does it. So, it's beautiful. It really is. And so, I mean, for me to go walking in nature is just, I ask a lot of questions often. Well, not a lot of questions, but if I have something that I'm really wanting, that I'm really feeling I want to ask and I need, and I will ask, and it always comes in that pure spirit sense. And aside from that, it's just constant anyway, everything else, because that's how my team and my guides connect with me as well. So one of the ways, but it's the daily being way.
and
Yeah.
when you ask these questions, does it come to you in different ways, the answers?
Yeah. I find I've talked a lot about this over the years, but bird tribes, the return of the bird tribes, um, there are many of us connected to that. And when we talk about bird tribes, it can mean many different things. So it's actually the animals, as in the bird, the flight, but they are also, there's an angelic aspect to that with the clarity of their heart song and their connection to us in that way. And also my spirit team will talk through the birds to me. If I ask a question in the moment, I can do that here at any time, and a bird will answer me. I can, and it is the way that we ask the question or the thought that we're having, but the answer always comes, always. So I find it's a very threefold in the way that it works.
And do you find sometimes you get those moments where you have to change your question?
Yes, to reword it. For clarity. And sometimes the answers come in so quickly, so fast, that it's like, oh my gosh, okay, just got let's just slow down and go back. But the beautiful thing is that we are asking the questions, and it's asking ye shall receive, and you know, and creating that conscious space, and then feeling the love and the gratitude. You know, there's so much gratitude and love in that, you know, and that then inspires the birds or the animals, all of the animals around will feel that. So they've always talked about, it's been written through many Indigenous tribes about the return of the bird tribes. And I definitely see that as us, as people, in the way that we connect with spirit as well. But it's also us remembering our connection with spirit in that way, with these beautiful divine messages that are there for us, that are very, very clear messages of spirit, of the divine, of our team, of our spirit teams as well.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I have a strong connection with the birds as well. And I mean the kahu, the hawk is a classic messenger,
Yeah.
you know, like just shows up. He came flying past the other day, you know. I had a question, and again, I love questions as well. I find them super empowering, you know, like people say, oh, you're asking a question, so you don't know, you know. It's like, no, it's actually super empowering, because you're inviting something into your realm that actually already exists. You just haven't connected with, you know, or you're not sure. So you, and like you say, the beings, whoever you're communicating with and asking these questions, they get to interact and get to help you, you know, because they can't help us if we don't ask.
That's right. That exactly. If we don't ask, we don't receive, or the message will try and get through, but because we're not in that space of receiving in a very clear way as well, because it's asking you shall receive. So I ask and I open myself up to what comes in. So learning how to receive is a really big part of it, as well as learning how to ask. And there are, I think, you know, there's a lot of reasons why people don't like asking questions. We've been encouraged not to ask questions, and that it's like, you should just know this. Well, actually, on another level, we do know this. We really, really do. We're just activating our remembering by asking the question. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I resonate with that. I mean, that is you know, the learning is the unlearning, which brings in the remembering.
It is. And I was a teacher for a long time. So I, you know, a little bit of a different teacher, but, you know, I was a teacher in schools for a long time. So I sort of had an understanding of how that machine worked at that time. Yeah.
And how was that for you? Like, because I feel even though we live in these ways and we have these everyday jobs or lives or whatever, I still feel there's a real gift within them. So what for you
Oh,
did you find with that?
I loved it because I loved children so much. I love children. Oh, I love working with children. And I did it for a very long time. I did it in a variety of ways. I was a classroom teacher, and often in very low socioeconomic areas, and so worked with a diverse range of children, often like when I lived in New Zealand, I lived in Auckland, and I taught in a very low socio-economic area there, and mostly with Māori children. And it was the most beautiful experience of my life. And then so I just moved through those things and eventually came into working with children that had special educational, behavioural needs, and physical, mental, emotional, the whole thing. So that's where I came to before I actually left, and I did that for quite some time. And it was always a gift for me. The children were always a gift, and working with the parents was always a gift. And I had some really beautiful colleagues as well. Yeah, and I did it for a long time. In fact, I started off as a kindergarten teacher and then went back to university and became a primary school teacher, and then I went on and worked in some secondary schools and did the special education. So I worked all the way through and got a really good feel about it. And at the very beginning I was in the system too, like everybody else. That's just where I was. But for me, it was always about the children, the joy of sharing things with the children and being a lifelong learner. And they taught me so much. So it just, eventually I was like, okay, this is too tight a squeeze for the children that I'm with. They're being squeezed too much. And I need to unsqueeze myself as well out of this, fall out of the box, pop out of the box, So it was beautiful, honestly, especially in the days where you could go in and you had a thing, a structure or an idea of what you were going to teach based on what the curriculum said, but you had your own way of doing it. It became tighter and tighter as time went on. But I loved those days where we could just explore. It was fun.
Yeah,
and I'm a child. I'm such a child.
Yeah, totally. I can feel that, just to play and be curious and ask questions.
Yeah.
That's all, what we do as a child naturally.
We do, and children are such wonderful teachers.
Yeah.
Such wonderful teachers. They're so, we talk about animals and nature, and, they can be so pure. Their hearts. Yeah. So I loved it. And I loved working with families and parents, and until I didn't.
Yeah. I mean, it did just get crazy. I got some friends who've been teachers, and I worked with what we know as special needs youths and some adults as well, and traumatic brain injury. And they're just incredible. They're just incredible. Amazing. Like amazing teachers, but just amazing beings in general. And how they relate to the world and how they shift. They shift through emotions, and they're very in the moment and
very,
and
very pure.
Yeah.
Very pure. Wonderful, wonderful teachers. And they are gifts, definite gifts to the world, to all of us.
Yes. Yeah. And talking on that, the children that are coming through now are extremely gifted, How do you see that? Of course, nature feels a big part of supporting them. So do you have any insight around, what's to come for making sure these children stay connected to their true essence and being in an environment that, they can still flourish and be true to themselves?
I see because the very fact that there are more and more of these crystal children, rainbow children coming through and being born at this time, grandmasters, not just, they are grandmasters returning. That is for a reason in itself, with the changes that the planet, that we're all going through, the frequency, all of our frequencies together in this rise. So that's a beautiful thing in itself. And as they come in, the frequencies continue to rise. In fact, they elevate that as much, much, much more just through their being here. It's going to be an individual path for everybody. However, now is the perfect time for that, because we're in such deeply questioning time. So they're here to create that more and more of those questions and of the status quo, because they don't fit into the boxes at all. And so part of parents' awakening, for those that are less, open, who have been less open and more in the status quo of the old world, they are part of their awakening. And the beautiful thing about that is, now with that, because the frequencies are so much higher and we're getting these influxes all of the time, it is awakening parents. So many more are actually going, oh, there's something, something about my child. There's something not fitting into that system. There, of course, are others that are going to really, have a bit of a challenge, but it's for us. I see schooling returning to nature. I truly do. And when we think about it, and I think about my growing up, that's where I was happiest. Just learning in nature, observing and being and playing and, exploring and taking risks and, all of those things.
Yeah,
And
totally. It was all there
yeah,
for us, wasn't it?
it was. And so I see that as what's happening, and I see more and more parents coming online, or more and more of those that have these children just coming online with that, because that whole structure of the old, that is one of the big ones that's going.
Yeah, and I
That's on
feel
its way.
like you're saying that the parents are waking up. I think that's because the children, they are so connected and they are just okay to express themselves and they don't alter or anything. Whereas we were a bit like, oh, okay, I'm different. No, say that. No, you don't do it like that way, and you shrink back and lose yourself. So it's beautiful that they are in that place. They're so connected and powerful that they can just stand true to themselves. And
Exactly.
and the parents do have to take notice.
They really, really do. They really do. It's a whole paradigm shift. And so these beings that are coming in, they are, if we talk about lighter in frequency, they are so much lighter, yet they are so powerful. Like, it's not, we never equate one as being less than the other, because that is their power. Yeah. That is the
Yeah.
fire that's in them that cannot be diminished.
So, like, because I find when we talk about frequencies, not necessarily everyone, but we go into heightened states, and there's this whole, okay, you need to ground yourself. You need to ground yourself, but it feels like these young ones that are coming through, because where they are, they seem to be super grounded, even though they're super heightened.
Yes, absolutely. I think, well, I feel too that they are here, and even if they're not fully aware of it, it is because they are deeply connected to the celestial being of our earth. And so they have to be anchored in heaven and earth. They have to be anchored in heaven and earth to be the heavenly earth that they are, to birth that, to be part of that. So they have to be that, really anchored into her heart and into her mind and into her being, or he, she, now, but into the being of that, as well as into heaven, the celestial realms. Albeit I always say it's heaven, but to bring those frequencies through and to ground them. But also, it's not just grounding them, it's also bringing them up and pouring them out. So it's that beautiful Taurus field, that beautiful energy, that flow. So they have to be, just as we in our own ways heard her call and we're like, okay, she's calling us, it's our time, it's time. She's like, it's time, are you coming? Come with me and we'll do this. We're ascending together. She's at a point now where these children can come and be fully supported because of where she is. But of course, they too are connected to her call, but they don't forget that necessarily like we did, at different times in our lives.
Yeah, it's a totally different journey, isn't it?
Yeah.
which is so beautiful to see. You know, I feel very blessed for my life. You know, even with what happened and the experiences that we come here to explore. But at the same time, I feel it's so beautiful to see that we're collectively and planetary in a place where these beings can come through and just be that. And the
Yeah,
anchoring is important, like you say. You know, it's so the whole ascension thing. You know, it's really just about being here on this planet in this body. It's
it is.
absolutely what it is.
Yeah, with all the chakras aligned, it's that chakras, all the chakras on, and so those lower chakras that connect also into the earth, very, very important. And I think, I know I can speak for myself and so many people that I know that have always been very connected to the celestial realms. As much as I've always loved the earth, it was the lower chakras that needed the work, because these were always wide open. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where the work is, isn't it? You know,
Yeah.
do the groundwork, create a foundation. You know,
Yeah.
get strong in your foundation. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. That's evolutionary spiral that we continue to go through, where all of those node points all match up and connect again, and we realize that earth is heaven and heaven is earth, and you know, and our hearts are in there as well. We're in that right in the heart of it all.
Mhm. Beautiful. Oh, just can feel that energy. You know, we could just bask in that. You know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Bliss, joy. And the more we talk about it and the more that we share it and the more that we're just open. That's why I love what you're doing. It's the more we can talk about that and this and what is true and what is actually real, it just keeps that spark getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's amazing.
Yeah, that
Mm-hmm.
ripple effect, isn't it? You know,
Mm-hmm.
and also it's invitational, you know, and giving permission, you know, whatever you step into and you express yourself as, then that enhances more of that. And then
Yeah,
people have their own codex and they come in and this is how I express it, but I am expressing this. This is my light, you know, and moving away from these things that don't serve that and don't align anymore at all, you know.
absolutely. Yeah. And it is moments like this where we are truly talking the truth of our hearts and of our being and of our knowing, where it helps us to remember that this is what it is. So yeah, this is the truth. This is what's real. This is now. This is happening. There's no denying it.
No, no, I think even people who don't want to look at it can see it,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's all a beautiful harmonic convergence.
There's,
It really is. Each of us, when we connect, or however many we're connecting with, or in nature, or every moment, it's this gorgeous harmonic convergence. A song is being created, a sound, yeah, that ripples out, as you said, ripples out, and it's eternal. And it's
yes,
echo.
yeah, yeah, and within and that, you know, we're all given a choice, and that's it. Simply, it's just a choice. How do you want to express yourself? How do you want to experience your time here?
Mm,
You
mm.
know, and some will stay on and do what they come here to do, and others will pass over, and yeah, that's just part of it all as well.
Yeah, exactly. And we all have these choice points in our own ways, some absolute destiny ones. Yeah. But again, there are others that it's like, well, you actually have this, it is like a divergence or convergence point, whichever way you look at it, that you choose. Yeah, the free
Yeah,
will of choice.
yes, totally. Free will. I mean, it's good that you mentioned that because I can even reflect on myself where um being on this more conscious journey, I feel we're always on a conscious journey, we're just not conscious of it. Um But we've been more on a conscious journey, and I had some dense energies come through, and it put me in a place where I wanted to leave the planet, and I actually chose to leave, and I started leaving, and then I got no, you signed up for an important job. You've got to go back down there and get in your body and carry on. And I'm like,
Oh,
oh yeah,
yeah.
okay.
I've been there. I've been there with that. When I had radiation poisoning, I was so close to that point. It wasn't my point to go, but I had the choice of, do I want to stay? Like, it was up to me. Do I have the will to to continue existing or not? And I seriously at one point was like, I don't want to. I really don't want to. I don't want to. If it's going to be hard like this, and I'm going to be as sick as this, and it was. I don't want to, but not my time.
Wow, thank you for staying.
Yeah, well, and likewise, thank you to you. It's just we weren't meant to, but I also know there was an aspect of me that if I had seriously said, yeah, okay, yeah, I'm ready, I'm going. And it took some time for me to actually come to that.
Mm. So
Mm.
what was it in you that got you to stay, that got you in that place where you went, actually, I'm going to do this?
I think for me, there was my will was really, it was what was with the poisoning was what was, the attack was on, in many, many ways. And so I had to regain my will to, okay, the birds, you probably
Yeah,
can't hear. Can you hear them?
confirmation.
Yeah. It was my
Yes.
will. And was like, I was talking to my team at one point going, if I leave, I haven't completed all of my mission yet, have I? And I know I've got these things, and I know, and they were like, no, and they were really good, really, really good. And in the end, I was like, no, I need to do this. I need to sing my song.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. And I love how you shared that, because um, I feel people have what they call guides, and they tell them what to do, and take away their own power. And so I think it's beautiful that you just shared, your guides were like, yeah, you have these jobs, but it's okay, we support you, you being true to yourself and choosing what it is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was. And I'm so pleased that I did. It created a big journey in itself. Even saying yes and then having to, yeah, to work through so many things with that. But that was what it was meant to be. It was all perfect, really. Everything was perfect. So,
Yeah. Yeah, and it's interesting how, like, someone like yourself is so connected to nature, and then you have to experience taking this really heavy thing called radiation that just takes over your whole body, which is, you're a nature person. You don't need anything to take over your body. It's all there.
it is. It is. And I just, yeah, it was a shock. I think too, that's the other side. If this can happen to me, and wow, and our frequencies continue to rise, and my frequency continues to shift and change. And oh my gosh, what are the implications for the future? And yeah, there was some serious questioning I had to go through, which was so good though. At the time, it didn't feel good, but it was so good to go through that. And then to get grounded back in my own, like, no. And, like I said before, we all felt the call, we all heard the call, we received the call in our hearts of, we have, it's time, it's time. So let's do this together. We're this beautiful team of beings around the world. And I've seen this for a very, very long time. And it's like, no, I'm still part of that. I need to be part of that. And I mean that a team of beings like us as human beings, but also, our nature beings and all of those. So, and for our teams, and I'm like, I don't want to let anyone down. The only person you'd be doing that would be your own judgment. And also this conversation that, you go through with yourself. But I'm
It's
ready to
fascinating.
go, you know.
Yeah, it is. It's quite fascinating what we do, put on ourselves and go through, especially in situations like that. And even families and being the sparkle of the family and not being seen in that way and all these other things we could call it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. But, it just shows us really at the end of the day how strong and how amazing we all are.
Yes. Yeah, and I feel we're never given anything more than we can't handle. So
Exactly.
we are supported, and I simplify that. I go into, okay, I ring up the fish and chip shop and I order fish and chips and I go down and pick up my order. They don't give me a pizza,
No.
do they? And that's how simple it is. It
Yeah,
really is.
it is. That's exactly right. That is how simple it is. You get the order. You get what you asked, what you
Yeah,
asked for.
yeah. We're so supported,
We are.
in every way and all aspects of
Oh,
our expression. Yeah.
we are. We are revered. We are revered, truly. Because, those, I mean, I think all of us, but, those that have found it quite challenging at times to be in the, in the thick of it, in that more dense, heavier energy and the constraints of that. Yeah, we are very revered. Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, I reflect back and I still have a lot of friends who are alcoholics and things like that. And I think of my journey and I just think, wow, I'm so blessed that I had that power within me. I knew at some point that I'm just not doing this anymore. I want something more. There's got to be more to life than this. It looks good on the outside in some ways because you're partying and you're doing, you got these people around and da da da, but it's just a total illusion. Like it's just not fun at all. Actually, you're hurting and you're lost and you're trying to be something. And yeah, it's so I feel really blessed to my soul was strong enough and to say yes to this. And it's not always easy, of course. We go through our own densities and we've got to
Mm.
face things and feel and yeah, everything and move it out of the body. So, as we evolve, sure we get more tools and it becomes easier and it might even be lighter or it's quicker because the energies are so quick now, I offered a session this morning and the energies, my goodness, I could really keep up. I was just
Wow.
shooting.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
And
Oh,
like you say with the birds, sorry, okay, slow down, and one at a time, please. Thank
it
you.
is. It is one at a time, and it's instant. And I love what you just said there, and I'm so grateful that you shared that because we are in a time now where this part of the healing part of the journey can be quite. It can be deeply challenging, absolutely, but it is so supported by the frequencies that it can actually be faster as well for those that choose it. And again, it's just that engagement of the mind and the will saying, right, I am doing this and making that choice, and I'm just going to do what it takes. I will hurt when if I need to hurt on the inside, and feel all my feels and all of those things. We are so supported. And physically, I can honestly talk about miracles in those things. I've had so many miracles because I will ask. When I had the radiation poisoning, for example, afterwards I was left in a very strong metallic taste in my mouth for quite some time. And it just occurred to me, and I still couldn't eat because everything tasted like metal. And it just occurred to me, just ask for that, please, to stop. And so I literally just sat and I said, honestly, I just need this to stop now. Gone. Instantaneously, it stopped. It's gone. And
Awesome.
I've had multiple times like that. And if it is aligned with your your soul journey, then so it is. It shall be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel it's that clarity as well. Like you say, you just got clear that actually I can heal this, I can change this. And I know even if I'm not aware of the tools that I have, I just know that they're there. And just by saying yes to that, then woof, it comes through.
Instant. Instant.
Yeah.
And when Yeshua, talked about that and in his walk through life, everything I can do as a healer and you can do greater, it is so true. So
Yeah,
true.
I feel that's one of his biggest messages that people didn't actually get. If I just touch him, I'll be healed. He's like, if you just believe in yourself in that way, you will be healed.
Yeah.
You don't need to touch me.
No, it's exactly right. And that's a whole big exploration. I know that Spirit's been taking me on a deeper exploration with that over the last months again, and something that I will be talking about further in the things that I do. But yeah, it's pretty neat because we're bringing the true word and the true way and the true the light, now
Yes.
being
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, totally. It's so true what you're saying, and I'm grateful you shared that because it's that Christ light. We greet people. The Christ light in me greets the Christ light in you,
Yes.
and how we relate to life from that place. It's just such a different experience.
It is.
It
It is.
really is. I had a beautiful moment. I feel to share with what you were sharing as well. That I was on a walk in Abel Tasman National Park, the top of the South Island, and no one was really around. It was about this time of year actually, and last year, and I was naked walking, and it was awesome. It's like, and we're going to go for a swim, and I went to look down, and I saw a lump above my testicle, like a centimeter and a half, 2 or 3 centimeters round. I was like, oh, okay, what's that? That's a lump. And then I remembered that I noticed something some time ago and then I forgot about it. And I'm like, oh, I have that thing that I just don't take responsibility. I just kind of go, oh, it's okay, and carry on. And it's quite an amazing tool, but I need to use it in a way that it supports me. So
Yeah.
I realized that and I was like, okay, I need to take responsibility for this. This is, it could be something I really need to explore and be quite a journey similar to what you're sharing in some way. And I tuned in and I asked, was it cancer or benign? And I just got, it doesn't matter. And I was like, oh, it's an interesting answer. Okay. So, okay. So I'm going to sort it out. What would I do? And I got taken on a journey of going to the hospital and going through all that, and I was feeling what there was like. And I was totally at ease with it. I was like going to the doctor and getting cut open, removed, the medical medicine I needed and all sorts. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm actually at ease with that. It's interesting, but yeah, would I choose that? And then I was presented a different option, and I was shown natural medicine and working with it in that way, and taking these tonics and everything, and being in nature and meditating and things. And yeah, that also felt really beautiful, and I was at ease. And I was like, okay, so what else is there? And then I was shown light alchemy, and like this crystal light alchemy, just
Ooh, yeah, I feel
it
that.
was just blasting it. And
Yeah.
funny thing is, when I was watching it, I was seeing these particles like it was breaking down, and I was going, I wonder where those particles are going. But anyway, that wasn't important. It was just fascinating
Wow.
that I was like, I
Yeah.
wonder what's happening with those particles. But anyway, it just went through from the left side all the way across and finished, and it was gone. And I was like, yeah, I would choose that. That's how I would do it. So I just carried on my day, and I ended up walking home. And when I got home, I was like, okay, let's be responsible. Let's look at this and deal with it. And I looked down, and it was gone.
That's so beautiful. Oh gosh, I love that. That is so wonderful. So wonderful that you shared that as well.
Yeah,
Oh,
I've actually held that a bit close because yeah, I feel I don't know. I just haven't felt to put it out there so much, but it just kind of went, yeah, it's a good time to share that now. Let's just
it is. It absolutely
so
is.
thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. My pleasure. No, it's absolutely perfect. And because so many more people too, and I mean, I've watched this, I feel that a huge part of this awakening journey and the deeper work is actually the notice that we take of our bodies and what's going on with our bodies and what doesn't look right, doesn't feel right. And the choices that we make based on that, very, very much. So it's, yeah, what you've said is just perfect and beautiful. Yeah, yeah.
That's why we come together, to
Yeah,
shine this light,
it absolutely is. And it's to show people that there are other ways, that,
Mhm.
it is all about, you were just like, okay, I give myself over, this is what I choose. This is it. It's like, already done.
Yeah, totally. That's a fascinating thing. I mean, I didn't have to get into a space or anything, it was just like I just said yes, because
Yeah.
it's accessible and it's for us all. And as we move more into our crystalline body, these things are really important and will come online even more.
They are, they are. And so it's the perfect time to be talking about it now.
Yeah.
Mm.
So how do you find that, like that journey of transitioning from a carbon body to a crystalline body?
For me personally, over on a, if I look at it from a I can look at it from so many different ways. It's just like, okay, where do I go? For me, the obvious place that I would start, I started for myself with an awareness that wasn't even an awareness. It's just something my body just started going, oh, I don't want that anymore. I don't need that anymore. Take that away from me. And when you talk about alcohol, and for me too, I don't eat meat. Although I've always said I would never, I would not say never, and I can't call myself a vegan. I really can't have those labels. I would say that I eat plant-based, but it was just like the way my body was very, very clear with me along this journey on, okay, this doesn't work for you anymore. This doesn't work for you. No caffeine, no alcohol, no, it's just been like a steady progress. The more and more my crystalline body comes online, or crystalline body is activated, the more on a physical level, I've just had to, or not had to, I've just felt it's time for that to go. It doesn't agree with me anymore.
Mhm.
And, did they ever agree with me? Did caffeine ever agree with me? No. It used to make me want to go and run up the wall and grind my teeth. But, it was a little bit of a high. But it has been that clearing out and the cleaning. But then it goes with the internal cleaning as well, the spiritual and the emotional cleaning, the reasons why, we've been using those drugs or whatever you want to say, feeding these little addictions that we have, or that have been part of our just normal life, or these other things, these other little boxes that we have. But it's just been a part of the cleaning, the more you clean. And it's a twofold thing. I don't feel one happens outside of the other. I don't feel that one makes the other happen. I feel that they both just happen simultaneously. It's a simultaneous thing. Yeah. As we're changing, we're cleaning. As we're cleaning, we're changing. It's just they're both part of that activation. If you clean your body, mind, and spirit and do the healing, your frequency is going to shift faster, or you're, shifting out of this density, heavier, denser, more dense body into this, light, into your light body and your crystalline body. It's simultaneous. So one can't happen without the other. Yeah. So for me, it's just been cleaning, if you know what I mean, like constant cleaning and talking to my body and talking to my temple while I'm here in my home, and listening to that, not always getting it right because I'm human, having a human experience, and I will go, well, I just want to do that, or I just want to have that. And, and that's okay, but I do that consciously. I'm choosing it consciously. It's my conscious decision. So, and I have gratitude for those conscious moments as well, where I'm doing that, the ability to have that. However, yeah, I think for some people it's going to be more challenging because they're very grounded in that, very grounded in those ways. And the way our bodies change, they actually feel physically lighter. To me, the bones feel physically lighter. Everything feels lighter about me over the time. And I've always had a very light energy, always had and I'm a quite light in my being with my bones and things anyway, but it's even more of that activation. Like, it hasn't been a physical pain. I haven't had physical pain or anything like that. I know some people go through a lot of physical pain and things. Yeah. So yeah, for me, it's just about supporting it and allowing it to happen, and having so much gratitude that these beautiful bodies are, doing what they're doing for us.
It's amazing, isn't it? I mean, profound, when you start digging into it, what's in this body and how it works and communicates with each other and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, as you talked about the codons and everything just switching on, and that's where our earthing with dear Mother Earth, Terra Gaia, and all of those things are so important, because it's just like this charge running up through us. The magnetic and the electrical, we're just constantly in that feedback loop with that. And so I'm barefoot as much as I can be, not all the time, but I know that for me it's important anyway. But yeah, the definitely the less dense my body has become, the more I need to also be anchored in that.
Fly off like a feather.
Yeah, and I can. You can almost see that in people, can't you? And it's amazing watching people going through that shedding process of their own, like, because I've been aware of over time of my own, but watching and seeing where other people are on their timelines as they go through these shedding periods, and get their next wings, their next set of wings come online, if you know what I mean. The old wings are okay, we're on for the new ones now.
Yeah, and what your wings are as well can change, and
Yes,
what they are for each person is different. Yeah.
exactly. And it's fascinating. So I find it all really quite fascinating. Yeah. But I know that a lot of it is just about the cleansing of addictions and and habits that
Yeah. I
and
think
choosing to
habitual's
be
even bigger.
conscious. Yeah. Choosing to be conscious. It's like, okay, I'm going to do this or have that, but I'm consciously choosing this, and not having that argument with yourself of, oh my gosh, this feels so bad because or but I really want to do it. It's just that I'm consciously choosing to do it, which is half of the battle as well.
Yeah, yeah, totally. I totally agree with that. I think that's great that you've shared that, because it is, and it is a journey, we do transition. I find for myself, some of it was natural, when I reflect back, drinking, for instance, because there were many addictions. I was just like, when I became more conscious, I was like, I don't have a drinking problem. I have a problem that makes me drink. Okay, so what is that, And that, even though there's the culture around you and you fall into the culture, it's really the problem that made me drink anyway. And
Yeah.
when I became more conscious, things just left me. And I'm plant-based as well, and open for, if I require meat or something, then sure. It's again communicating with the body.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but those things, like you say, as you work on yourself and you shift through your emotional stuff, then you're just not drawn to that, whatever that food it was, or patterning of eating at that time of the day. And I used to love my cup of tea and dunking biscuits at smoko time at work. So
Yeah.
that was actually something that stayed with me for a very long time.
Yeah.
Because I enjoyed it. And there's a part of me
Yeah.
that sparks up, but then the body would go, Oh, yeah, actually, maybe you could have less biscuits. It's not you need to stop, but, don't have half a packet in one sitting or something
Yeah,
like that,
yeah, yeah.
and then that became less. And then they all of a sudden you find you're not doing it even. I haven't even decided to stop it. It's just left.
Absolutely. It's conscious. And as you were talking, and my body started talking to me there, and I got a burst of emotion. It was just like, yes, it's that understanding that this physical vessel is an intelligence. It is a loving intelligence. And so every thought, everything that we feed it in whatever way that is, is touching and affecting that, and it will tell us, it will guide us if we just sit and listen with an open heart to it without judgment, and have so much gratitude for it. It will say this is what's right. But if you're going to have that, that's okay. You don't need to beat yourself up.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I always say choose what you're choosing.
yeah, I love that. Choose what you're choosing. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, they are our bodies, these physical bodies that our homes while we're here are pretty amazing beings. I remember the first time I had a conversation with my body, and it was just like all tears. I just cried and cried and cried. It was just like this homecoming in my body, of my body going, oh my gosh, finally.
Finally, you recognize me. Finally, you honoring me for what I am. Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
beautiful. I
yes.
love that.
Yeah, it was. It was really, really beautiful. And it just brought me to tears over and over again of like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
And how resilient our body is as well. It blows me away. What we put it through. And it's still here going forward. It's like, yeah, and how people can just shift from a really toxic induced life to going, I'm not doing that anymore, and the body just responds, instantly regenerates and gets going and fires up. And yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And it's all of that knowing, being in our own power and our own, awareness and sovereignty. And it's that sudden awareness of like, oh, I just need to listen. I just need to say, and I just need to ask, and I just need to believe and know. And no one knows better than I do, you know, and yeah, have that trust and that faith. And I think faith is a really, really big thing. Faith is a really big thing. And I think that has a huge ripple effect in all the myriad of ways that you could look at it. But faith is huge. Yeah.
Yeah, they're important ways of being, to help us on our journey to step into those frequencies of faith and trust, and that'll take us further along on our journey.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I find interesting, yeah, when I had my kind of shift, and I was looking at foods in a different way, and then I got the alkaline chart, the food chart, 80% alkaline, 20% acidic. And the first thing I noticed is this is a food chart, but the most alkaline and most acidic things are emotions.
Yeah.
It was like love and
Yeah.
compassion and gratefulness is the most alkaline, and anger and control, and that is the most acidic. And I was like, makes so much sense. Like,
It does. It absolutely does, though. Yeah. It's how we're what is it, the scales of consciousness, where our emotions fit within those, and the food choices that we make based on that. It's amazing.
yeah. I mean, everything's in energy, isn't it? So there's an energetic driving that physical thing that you're choosing or doing or being,
Yeah.
always. So, and what is that energetic? Is it within the physics of your doing, or is it emotional, or is it a sense of knowing, or, yeah, that's for us to explore.
It is. Yeah. And that's the beautiful thing about it, is we do get to explore it. We don't need to say or be told it or anything like that. We can choose to just explore it and find out for ourselves. Yeah. And claim that, you know, that power within ourselves. Mm.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. I feel that is, what New Earth is about, and being here on this planet is to know yourself and to be the master of yourself. So thank you for sharing that. I think that's special.
You're
It's good.
welcome. Yeah, it is.
It's good.
Know thyself.
Totally. And I'm wondering, because often I ask the guests, is there something you want to share? And now we're coming to an end, and if you feel to, you can. I feel that was a beautiful way to finish, but if you feel to share more, that's fine as well.
No, I feel it is know thyself, and develop that faith in listening and in hearing, and with our bodies, definitely know thyself, but within that knowing thyself, then we know everything else, don't we, and everyone else. And that's the most important thing, is to put yourself in that special seat and go, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready. What do I need to know about myself? What's the most important thing for me to explore in myself right now? What's calling? What does my heart say in this? Follow. Lead with thy heart, and the rest will follow.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's really beautiful to connect with you and have you share your light with us and love, and your connection with nature and being nature, it's really, I feel very blessed.
Oh, well, thank you so much for asking me, Jacob. Honestly, it's such a joy and a delight. I love talking, but then I also like a lot of silence. But a good talking burst is always beautiful, where we just share these incredible frequencies and the sound, and send this beautiful message into the cosmos forever. So thank you for asking me, and it's just been beautiful connecting with you. Definitely a lovely harmonic convergence for sure.
Yes, totally. Very much, very much. Oh, well, thank you all for joining us today. Blessings on you all, and may you know thyself and shine your light for all to see. We're all incredibly beyond what we really can imagine we are. So, go well all. Much love.
Thank you.